Brave to see old taverns and caverns. Soon after we save a samurai in the warehouse, we find out that it was far too late to save him. Whatever experiments these alchemists were running on him had changed him into what looked like a Yaksha. I chose to behead the man to give him a quick death. We began inspecting the abandoned warehouse and found a few other shaman soldiers locked up. No sooner than we freed them, we hear the horrifying screeches of the Yaksha surrounding the building. It won't take long for the Yaksha armor to storm the warehouse. With little options left, we choose to activate the summoning circle in order to escape. However, Wedge and the shaman soldiers were unable to join us in our retreat. Wedge destroyed the summoning ruins in his last moments to throw out the Yaksha from following. Episode 7 to 8. Kholdar Secret.
And as you are teleported away, I'm going to reveal a map to the right of you. And you just hear Ashina Rudy goes, Wedge! God damn it, Wedge!
Bryce, this does not look better.
Right.
She said, this does not look better. All right. So
Well, it looks a little better. Let's not be ridiculous. There's less monsters, but
yeah. So as you're all being teleported away, Wedge, he takes his warhammer, and as soon as you all vanish, you leave the samurai with Wedge, and he takes his warhammer and he just slams it down as he stands near the circle into one of the runes, and he begins to break up the runes around the summoning circle to fuck the magical circle up so that it is unusable until the runes are fixed. And as that happens, you can see you guys are now gone. You can't see him any longer. And at this point, he and the samurai get swarmed by all of the Yaksha. Obviously, you guys are not there to see this, but obviously they're not breaking out.
wow.
So they get swarmed by the Yaksha, and you don't know what happens to any of them. Bye-bye, Wedge and Samurai NPCs. For now.
Damn.
But as that happens, you all do know that he did break up the summoning circle. That's what he said he was going to do if he couldn't make it out, to stop them from following you guys. So I'm going to remove the turn order here. We'll keep the turn order, but I'm just going to move it out the way for now. We'll start with if we go back to it, we'll start with the same new round with the same initiative that we rolled before. But as you guys appear in this room, you guys find stone beneath you. You can see what looks like this massive room with no windows. There are several torches and magical light sources keeping this room lit. But also, other than torches, you see this purple aura coming from several giant test tubes that are sprawled out throughout the room with these attachment hoses that are connected to them, leading into this glowing purple sphere that looks like a gigantic spark that is inside of a glass orb, as if it is a source of energy that's just pulsating. But inside these test tubes to the north and south of you, you can see these humanoid figures floating in this purple like liquid with all of these attachments going into their bodies as if it was some kind of sci-fi laboratory with experiments. Now, nothing in here looks like a sci-fi flick. It's all still very fantasy looking, obviously, but you guys get the feeling that you're in some kind of lab, a laboratory. Now, the warehouse was a makeshift lab, as you guys saw with the test tubes and all that stuff, but this one is much more sophisticated as you appear here. There are stairs behind you all that lead up onto a platform. That platform leads up to the north to another set of stairs, and that set of stairs leads to a door. There is nobody in this lab, but the equipment seems to be turned on. Magic, the Arcana, if you roll an Arcana check, I'll tell you what you feel. But right now, it is pure silence, and you guys just appear peacefully without any issues. What do you do?
Cry. I'm with Roroi on this one. I'm crying.
Damn it.
Damn
Why
it,
couldn't
Wedge.
Wedge just jump on Roy? He steps out of the circle. Oh, looks like if they need a teleporter, judging by this technology, we might be in Kholdar.
That's a bad place.
That'd
Oh,
be
it's the bad place.
yes.
Damn.
You
Let's
don't
hope
know.
for
You
that.
don't know where you're at, but that is the bad place. Kholdar is the nation that attacked everybody.
Let's hope we're not there.
Even the air smells sinister.
Hmm?
Ashina Rui takes her fist. She just punches the ground. She is really pissed off right now. She just left one of her friends. Not only did Biggs die, she has no idea what happened to Wedge. She's kind of quiet right now. She's pissed.
Well, she should have never named them Biggs and Wedge because she knows what happened.
She didn't name them that.
She's their mother.
Damn.
Mother. So as you all are stepping out of the summoning circle, Ashina Rui, she just looks at the summoning circle and then at you guys, and she's just quiet right now as she's looking around. But what do you all do?
I want to examine, I guess, some of the stuff or like try to see what's in these like tubes and stuff.
Yeah, the giant
Yeah.
test tubes, the humanoids in them.
Yep.
So again, go ahead and make me
Looking.
an investigation or whatever. 13.
Roy wanted to do an Arcana check as well.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know shit.
So
I got a
Yome,
2.
you walk up to the first test tube, and these test tubes they're fairly big. You know, they're about 15, 20 feet high. They're massive. And the room you're in, the ceiling is high. You get the feeling you're underground based off of the fact that the stairs behind you, there's 2 sets of stairs leading up. So you definitely feel like you're underground because parts of the wall do look like, cavernous. But as you look into that test tube with a 2, you just see this floating humanoid figure in this purple liquid just floating that you can't tell what it is. It has 2 arms, it's very humanoid-like, but you can't see its face or anything. It's too dark in that specific test tube to see it. You just don't know what you're looking at with a 2. You have a 13 on your investigation, Houta. What are you investigating?
He's investigating this coffin doodad that's attached by cords to whatever that purple thing is.
So you are walking towards the giant glass orb with the purple sparking energy inside the glass orb. In front of that giant ball of what you would assume is arcana energy of some kind. Again, they're all attached with cords that lead into. It's not a coffin. It is.
Okay.
It's a table with harnesses.
Oh, I can see that now.
Think Frankenstein. And there is a lever to the side of it. Your thoughts that come rushing to your head are, this is definitely experiments that are used on people with how this is looking. You're not sure, but that's how it looks like.
Is there like
yeah.
a closet in here that we can hide in? Or
No closets. You do know there's space. There is space around the test tubes. You could hide behind the test tubes because they're large enough. You can hide behind some of these test tubes if you needed to.
all I'm saying is, looks like there's one door.
Yes, there's only
And
one
I
door.
imagine we're in a bad place, so I don't know how we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, there's only one door, and that's up the stairs behind you. And with a 25 Arcana check, Roroi, you feel magic flowing everywhere in this room. There are purple crystals in these boxes all around the room. Your assumption would be sources of Arcana energy or magic energy. No matter where you step in this room, you feel the Arcana flowing, and it feels, as Stella said, somewhat sinister, Roroi. You can't tell it's bad Arcana, but you get a really bad feeling just being in this room.
Could Roroi take a couple samples of those crystals?
Yes, he could.
He's going to do that.
So you
He's
just
gonna
like
take.
you're taking like a tool and just like cutting some of the
Yeah.
crystals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you take a couple chunks off the crystals. They break fairly easily, but nothing bad happens. You're able to take a couple samples. And with a 15 investigation, Stella, you're investigating one of the other test tubes.
Yeah, or in this thing, whatever that is.
That's just more crystals.
Oh, okay.
Giant
Well,
crystal
yeah.
on the floor. Yeah.
See if I notice anything that Yome didn't.
So you go to the southern test tubes on the opposite side. of where Yome is, and you look into it. Similar thing. You see a humanoid. However, you get a better glance at what's inside this one. There's more lighting near this one, and you see another humanoid figure, but you can see the shoulder has an eyeball blinking in it. The face, the head of this humanoid is what looks like a snapping turtle, large snapping turtle's head. And you can see the arms are much longer than the legs, and there are these massive claws attached to them. And the eye on the shoulder keeps blinking. It's not like looking at you. It's unaware you're there. It just keeps blinking.
It's doing some William Birkin shit.
Similar to that, yeah.
Stella tilts her head to the side. Freaky. She puts her face up to the glass in her hands like she's at an aquarium, and she's making faces. Oh, can you see what I'm doing?
It doesn't react. It just keeps blinking. It's as if it's not aware of its surroundings.
Man, this is fucked up. Can you imagine being stuck in a jar with an eye on your shoulder? All right. Someone's got to have the balls to go outside of that room and explore this place. We can't stay in here. And I don't want to know, well, who comes in that circle next if it ain't Wedge.
Ashina looks over at you. No one's coming through that circle anytime soon. Wedge destroyed it. I think we're safe for now.
I ain't gonna count him out ever.
Safe as we're gonna be. Should we shut down these experiments? Maybe.
No. Maybe something that's on is keeping them in there, you know? I mean, I guess we could take a vote.
Houta scratching his head. He's only asking questions.
Oh, I'm all about democracy in this bitch.
Houta don't know shit.
Everyone make me some perception checks. As you're all looking around, talking and investigating things. Oh my.
Roy's not very perceptive right now.
Roy's got 6, Houta with a 12, Yome with a 21, and oh no, Stella with a 5. All right. So as you're all speaking with one another, Yome is kind of off to the side, still looking at the test tube. With a 21, she's the only one that hears this. Yome, from above, behind you where the stairs are, leading up into the single door that leads into this room, you hear movement and commotion coming down towards you into the room. You don't know what or who is making the sounds, but you hear something or people coming down, and you feel like they're about to come into this lab soon. And you just get the quick feeling that you need to hide.
You guys, someone's coming. We need to hide. I don't know where to fucking hide.
Stella does a dive and a roll on some slick shit behind these barrels.
Okay, can I hide behind this? This is probably a bad place to hide, right?
So you have room. There's room to hide behind the test tubes and the equipment. Stella, I would say don't hide there only because that's where the stairs are. The stairs come down and they lead to where you're standing. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can see over.
I'm gonna be in this. I'm gonna jump over the crates and then jump behind them.
Okay. So you go. Okay. So you hide behind some crates and some boxes. All right. Ashina Rui is looking, and she just rushes towards the test tubes where Yome was, and she just hides behind some of the test tubes. Because like I said, they're about 20 feet high, about 15 feet wide, so you can hide them behind them fairly easily. Well, you got those humanoid figures in there that are kind of blocking. I mean, there's not really much else to hide other than behind some crates like Stella. There's not a lot of places to hide in this lab. So, Roroi and Houta, what are you guys doing?
Is there anything over here or no?
And along the corner to the north, there's some crates with all the crystals. You can hide behind all that, yes.
That's what he's going to do. All
right, Roy, you dive behind some of the boxes where you got those crystals from. And Houta, where are you going?
This area here, I'm going to hide there.
You're going to hide. So if you go above there, they'll be able to see you. Because that's the same.
That's where that is?
That's the same level of the stairs as the platform on the stairs. So there's a ladder that climbs up to that platform. They'd see you as soon as they walk in.
Oh, then I'm heading here then.
Okay. So you go behind another one of the devices. So
The darkest spot.
as you all hide behind all of these, you guys hear the door open. And you instantly hear voices speaking, talking with one another. And what you guys can see and hear are several people with those lab coats, similar to those scientists or those chemists that you saw back at the warehouse. They're walking through and they come down the stairs and they begin to tinker with several of the equipment. But as they come down, you also notice two individuals and another person in a lab coat come walking down the stairs as well. As they're talking, you notice one of the individuals is in immaculate golden armor. He's got two blades on his back and he has a helmet on his head with this golden mask that's attached to the helmet, so you cannot see his face. You just see this golden mask that looks like a face. And he's talking to this guy who's just in plain clothing. And there's another scientist walking with them who looks like he might be possibly the head scientist. You're just not sure. But they're having a conversation. You really can't hear what they're saying until they get down below because they're coming down the stairs. But as they do so, the other scientists go around and you see they come towards the center of the room where that table was with the straps. And another scientist goes up to that glass orb with the sparking energy and begins to mess around with a couple of the switches and levers as if they're preparing for something. And as they come down, they don't notice you guys are there at all. They're not looking for you, so they're not really paying attention. You can hear them talking, and you hear this as they get closer to the party. The man in the golden armor is speaking. He has his hands behind his back, and he is standing in a straight posture. Again, he has these two blades attached to his back as well. And he's looking around the room. Fascinating. This is the science room here of Valoria, then. Why did you build it under the Tawny Fortress? It is too close to the borders of Shimara. Too close to the enemy's lines. Was it your choice to put it here? Terrible decision. And you can see the scientist that came down with him, the one that looks like the head scientist, turns around and looks at the guy in armor. No, sir. It was Mawu's decision to have this built here under the Tawny Fortress. I thought it would be best to make it back further west, further from the borders. But you know General Mawu, he is known to be the wicked. He loves this kind of thing, being close to the enemies. He thinks it scares them. And then you see the man in armor looks at the scientist and he shakes his head. Mawu was a fool, and that is why he is dead. And he just continues to look around. If it was up to me, this would have been built, as you said, further to the west. Now, I have a sample here for you to show me how this works. And he looks over at the man who's just in plain clothing. And that man stands tall and proud. He just salutes this guy in this golden armor. Sir, yes, sir. And that golden armored man speaks up. You were hand chosen by myself to be the experiment for this day. Consider yourself worthy, soldier. And he just salutes the guy in the golden armor. And he begins to walk towards the table with the straps. And he just lays onto it as the other scientists begin to strap him in. And as they're strapping him in, you hear the general, well, not the general, but the guy in the golden armor. He looks over at the head scientist as they're strapping the other guy into this table. Tell me, what's caused the sorceress to leave? What was the meaning behind that? We lost a powerful spy in our ranks because of Mawu's terrible decisions. What did he do? And the scientist looks at the man, General Ranak. Mawu had us fuse her younger siblings into a monstrosity, and when she found out what we did, she killed it. I'm assuming in an act of mercy for her younger siblings, and that is when she fled. And the man in armor just shakes his head. He looks angered and upset about it. Mawu was a fool to take away the sole bargaining chip we had to use against that damn sorceress. We lost a powerful spy and many resources trying to get her back, and now Mawu the Wicked is dead. The Emperor will not be pleased with this. And the scientist looks at the guy. Of course, General Ranak, but that is why you are here with us now. You will be leading the efforts of the war here in Aloria. We don't take it the wrong way, and I know General Mawu is now dead, but we are actually happy you're taking his place, General Ranak, for you have a much more brighter head on your shoulders than Mawu ever did. And Ranak, as you all hear, his name is General Ranak. He just looks at the scientist. You're damn right. Out of the 7 generals, I am known as the Tempest. Why do you think that is, scientist? And the scientist looks at him. Because you are the fastest and the quickest and the most level-headed of all the generals, sir. And he just nods back at the scientist. You are correct. Now show me what your experiments can do. And he looks up at the man that's now strapped into the table. And the scientist turns around, he nods his head, and you can see they begin to pull some more levers. And as they do so, those that are standing behind any of the test tubes and whatnot, you can see that some of the purple liquid begins to be siphoned from those test tubes. And they begin to go through those cables, those cords, into the table where this guy is strapped. And the other scientists begin to basically insert some of these needles into him as if they were feeding him this liquid. And that giant energy sparking orb that is in the center or the center of the western room begins to spark even more frequently. And it begins to make this like hissing sound as if the arcana or the magics were about to blow out of that orb. Luckily, that glass that is encasing that orb is protecting it from exploding. But as it begins to siphon all of this liquid and it puts it into this guy's body, you can hear the guy on the table and see his veins begin to show in his body. He laid on the table, he took his shirt off, so you can see his bare chest begin to burst wider as his veins turn purple. And he begins to yell out in pain, as these cries of pain echo throughout this room. His body shifts and his head begins to rip open as something from inside of his face bursts out. And just like the turtle-like creature that Stella saw in the test tube, his head opens and this giant snapping turtle face comes out of it as his body soon shifts into what looks like his massive humanoid snapping turtle monstrosity. The straps that are holding him down, they rip and burst. And his body is no longer that of a human. It slowly sits up and it stands breathing heavily as this purple ooze is coming from the mouth and the pores of its arms. And you just see this massive turtle monstrosity standing there before you. And the scientist looks back over at Ranak. Sir, this is what we've been working on. You know, the energy we've taken from the Omnikami. General Ranak nods. Yes, I do. Is that why he looks like a snapping turtle? Yes, sir, it is. And Ranak just nods and he walks over to this man who is now this monstrosity. It's breathing heavily. And General Ranak, he does not look displeased. He does not look scared, but obviously he has his mask on, so you can't tell. But he just walks up to it. He looks up at it. It's taller than him now. He just looks up at it. Very good. This will definitely serve our army well. Unlike Mawu the Wicked, who relied on these altered soldiers, I tend to take things into my own hands. But because this is what Emperor Ball wants, I shall, of course, allow it. And he points over at the summoning circle that you guys came out of as he steps to the side. Soldier, your first mission is to go to the Amiwa ruins and seek out your superior officers there. And the turtle creature nods and it walks towards the summoning circle. And as it does so, it stands into the circle and the runes begin to turn on. But as the runes all light, nothing happens. And the scientist looks over at Ranak. That's weird. What is happening?
That bitch ain't got no gas in it.
General Ranak, he walks over towards the summoning circle. He leans down. The runes have not been tampered with. That can only mean one thing. The runes of the summoning circle on the opposite end at the Miawu ruins were tampered with. I do not like the sound of this. Come! We have pressing matters to discuss. And he begins to walk out of the room, going back up the stairs with this turtle and scientist following him. And the three of them leave almost abruptly. The General Ranak, he seemed fairly upset and somewhat surprised, and he thinks something in the plan is going wrong. So he is rushing out of here. The other scientists, though, they stay in there and they begin to clean up the mess that the turtle just made as they're turning off the equipment and whatnot. They don't know you're there. So as they do that, I'm going to move them around as they're cleaning up some things. And with that, we will say, what do you all do?
Nothing.
Yeah, what do you mean? What do we do?
I ain't doing shit. Stay right where I am, hiding in these shadows. You think I want that turtle bastard coming right back down these stairs? Hell no.
You hear him slowly going up the stairs. Bump, bump.
Yep.
Now, I want at least Yome, well, all of you can make me a history check, but Yome, make it with an advantage. I'd say, Yome has advantage. The rest of you make a normal history check. Oh, see, this is perfect. This is perfect because Yome got a natural 20 with a 21. Damn. So, and we have Stella with a 15, Roroi with a 20, and Houta with an 11. All right, so Houta, you don't catch on to what the scientists and the General Ranak were talking about. They said something specific that you don't catch on to. You were too worried about what the fuck am I looking at?
Right.
Roroi and Yome definitely know or catch on to this. Stella, you don't know the specifics behind it, but you put two and two together. When they were talking about, when General Ranak asked about it looking like a turtle, he mentioned the Omnikami. Yome, you definitely caught on to this. And remember, back when we started this campaign of season 2, there was an Omnikami that was missing. And the rumors were that the Kholdarians took him away. Do you remember the name of that Omnikami?
I sure don't.
I figured you wouldn't.
I do. I remember.
Which one was it?
It's Tioga.
Yes, Tioga, the Great Turtle Spirit.
I don't even remember the name of mine.
That's part of kind of Leroy's stick behind his shop and whatnot.
Yes,
because he really follows Tioga, and I just forgot the tiger. Nimwa, that's right. Nimwa. I thought it was, but
Tioga was the Great Turtle Spirit of protection and tranquility. Yome, you follow Tiomi, the Great Fox Spirit of luck and cleverness. Yes.
I would have just called her Kitsune.
So yeah, you all put two and two together, and you're like, in your heads now are like, that rumor is not a rumor any longer, at least to you.
All the rumors are true.
So as that's going on, though, I also want I didn't say a name, but for our listeners that are listening to the side stories, Ranak was talking about Mawu the Wicked and a sorceress that left. For those that listen to our side stories, the sorceress of Aloria, that's exactly who they were talking about. Eska, the sorceress, is who they were talking about. So a throwback to that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and Mawu the Wicked was one of the generals that followed after her into Tirister. But that's for that side story. So listen to those side stories if you want to know what happens. Mm-hmm. So, but with that, the scientists, they just continue to clean up, and the other one looks over at the other out of the four, And you hear him just go, I hate being here near the front lines. I don't know about these experiments. I know I could have my head cut off for this, but I can't believe we're using the essence of an Omnikami. That is not right. And the other scientist looks over. He looks frightened. Hush! If General Renak hears you, we'd all be killed. Shut up and keep working. And he just walks off away from the one that was freaked out. And they just continue to work and clean up the mess. And after about 10 minutes, they all finish what they're doing and they all begin to walk back up the stairs and they all leave the room. As they all leave the room, what do you all do?
Well, if they left the room.
Stella starts climbing on top of the crates.
They're always pissed right now after what he just saw.
I mean, that's some serious shit.
What the fuck?
Well, it was gotten to you guys. The monster's gone, and so are the scientists.
That's
I
a
can't
problem.
I
Need
can't
their
believe they
brains
did
on the
that.
brick.
Oops, sorry.
No, they're gonna be fucking sorry.
Roroi is just
He's
Kinda-
fucked up.
yeah. He's got that fist is balled up like that.
You got that Arthur meme.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Those bastards! I can't
Ashina-
believe they did that to Tioga.
And Ashina Ruri steps out, and she has a look of worry in her. Well, you can't see her face because her helmet has the mask, a samurai mask. But her eyes are wide open, and she looks at the four of you. That was General Renak of the Kholdarian army. We have to get out of here. Did you all hear? We are under the fortress of Tawny. That means we're near the borders of Aloria and Shimara. We're not too far away from Shimara. Possibly near Hirai Forest. If we can make a break for the forest, we can use that as coverage for our escape. But we have to get out of here. We cannot fight General Renak.
Oh, I don't plan on it. And pardon if I'm wrong, but I just heard someone say the essence of the Omnikami. That can't be right.
She looks over
I mean, it ain't right.
She looks at Houta and she shakes her head. No, it isn't right, and that is what you heard.
No, that's gotta be a joke.
The rumors of the great turtle spirit being captured and being siphoned through energy from the Kholdarians, we know it is now a rumor no longer. It makes sense how the Kholdarians are able to create these altered soldiers, these beasts. We have to inform the Alliance.
We have to.
The gods like exist though, right?
What do you mean?
Like they exist on like this plane or no?
So yes and no. So as it's explained in the history of Reverie, the planet, each continent has its own pantheon of gods.
Mm-hmm.
So in Ashai, it's the Omnikami. They look over the land of Ashai. So they are animal spirits / gods, but they do walk the lands of Ashai from time to time. People have seen them, and that's how Yome's race, the Yeki, came to be. So they are physically present from time to time. But the idea right now, what you guys just heard, it is almost impossible. You think there's no way. But after seeing what you just saw, you have no idea how mortals were able to capture a god or an animal spirit and siphon its energy. That is beyond mortal shit. So something seriously wrong is going on. So you guys,
I mean,
would all be
like
freaked
if I like, I mean, it would be really rare for someone to come across them. Yeah.
Yes.
But like, if you did, and you're like, bro, they took this other god, like they'd be pissed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Yes.
wondering.
Yes. The Omnikami, would be pissed.
She's looking around. Her eyes are big, and she's just kind of taking it in and going, whoa. It's been a while since I've been a part of some shit this serious. I mean, this could be the one. Something like this.
Well, we gotta get out of here.
We could be
first.
legends.
You're jumping the gun. We gotta get out of here.
I mean, come on.
Easy now.
We haven't been together long, but there's one thing I know about every person in this room. You find a way to keep going. I don't know. None of you bastards are gonna die on my watch. Now let's get the hell out of here.
Oh, after you.
Like I said, there's only one way out. It's up the stairs through that door.
Yeah, I took mine straight to the door. Stella's very motivated.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus.
How about I take a look first to make sure it's nice and safe?
I was gonna peek around the corner. I'm gung ho, but I'm not dumb.
You just gotta pretend like you belong there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they got any lab coats laying around?
So where they are, is that the door or
yeah,
like
doors
where
on
I
the
am?
north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't pay attention to this door here. That's not a door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a good stealth.
We're always going to bring up the rear.
Oh, we're rolling stealth now.
All right. So Stella, you have a 20 critical, a nat 20 on yourself with a 26 total.
God.
You go up to that door. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
And you're able to slowly open it. It pushes outwards. And as you peek through the door, you see this long hallway with nobody standing in it. You don't hear or see anyone right now. It looks like a hallway, a long corridor, and you can see there are two ways to turn, left and right. It ends at a dead end with a left and right turn. But you don't see anyone, which is good.
Is there not going to be a map for that?
Not just yet.
Okay. Stella, she's going to turn to Yome. Go, well, good news and bad news. Good news is not too sure we can get lost. There's only two ways we can go. Bad news is we'll be walking into a trap.
This place has got to be guarded.
Yeah. These sons of bitches got to pay. Then I got to write a diss track about that shit.
And remember, General Ronak mentioned you guys are underneath in the basements of Tawny Fortress, which is, I'd say, Ashina Ruri would know this because she's been fighting along the border anyways. So I won't make you make some checks. But along the border of Shimara and Aloria, on the side of Aloria, there is a fortress that is next to the border known as Tawny Fortress. That is the fortress you are at. So you're very close to Shimara, but you've been teleported out of the nation. So you definitely have to get the fuck out. But it is a fortress, which means there are potentially going to be Kholdarian soldiers.
Should we destroy these beakers or the cables or something before we leave? If we're gonna leave, we might as well fuck them up before we go. No need to leave their plan intact.
You're not wrong, but then people will know we were here.
So right.
They're gonna see us anyway. I doubt we're gonna get out of here.
We're definitely gonna have to kill some people to get out of here. Let's be real.
Yeah. Are we gonna let them finish building what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Can we destroy
9 more of these
quietly?
fucking monsters? Probably not. But we could just cut the cords, maybe not break the glass.
That sounds like a better idea.
All right.
Cut the cords. All right.
So everyone find a cord.
Yeah, he is not certain.
I mean, what else? Do you have a better idea?
Absolutely not. He's scratching his head.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna swing my rapier and try to slice. This,
I mean, they're not made of anything special, so you're able to cut right into them.
Oh, we're all doing this. All right. I'll cut
does it turn off?
So the liquid that's coming through these tubes, as you cut it, that purple liquid begins to spill onto the floor everywhere. But it's not turning anything off, but it's basically just draining now the purple liquid that's in these test tubes, leaving these humanoid figures in there without the liquid. So is
that going to be bad for us?
These humanoid figures now, without the liquid to keep them afloat, they drop into the test tubes and they're like leaning up against the glass now, but they're not moving.
Wait, they need that water. That's good.
The sparking orb the gigantic orb with that energy that's sparking inside that glass encasing on the west side of the room that everything seems to be connected to as well. Your assumption is that's the main source of power. As you cut these cables and these cords, that spark slowly begins to die out, and that purple energy just vanishes, and you just see the clear glass circular encasing.
Man, I was about to ask about that too. See if we can make it implode on itself or explode.
Nope.
If it went out,
loud.
It went out. You took away its energy source.
All right.
stuff.
Now we can either hide again because we know they're gonna come in here and see what's wrong, and we can jump them, try to get an opportunity attack.
You really want that general to come back?
Or we can leave the room and hope we don't run into them. But they're coming anyway.
Make me a history check, Houta.
You got it.
With advantage.
Nice. Didn't even need it.
So, roll it again.
That was a 20 on your history. You can roll it if you want. All right, we'll take the 20. Houta, because your background, specifically Yome and Roroi being from Ina Isle, they don't know much about the current war on the mainlands other than the war that's happening in Iwatsuni Isles. And Stella being from Tearster, she doesn't really know major names or anything. But you, having the past of being a soldier, fighting against the Kholdarians, you have heard of General Ranak, the Tempest. And you know he is a dual-bladed fighter. You saw the two swords on his back. He is known to be the most powerful swordsman under General Ball. You know if you fight him, you will most likely die.
Listen, it's a losing battle to go against this general. He's one of the strongest sword fighters in the nations. I think we should leave and not deal with it.
Let's beat feet. And let's start running towards the door.
All right, so you all cut the cables and you head up towards the door, and you're just gonna try and escape this room then. And all right, cool. So place all your characters up there near the door, and
we're gonna go left or right.
When we get up there,
when you get up there, you'll decide.
Oh yeah, Ryan hasn't made the map.
Yep. So with that, we'll go ahead and say that ends this episode of Taverns and Caverns.
All right.
That's all, folks.
Good episode, man.
Oh boy.
Good shit.
Damn it, I was trying to say Wedge.
I know. Ryan wouldn't let us save him. He said, "No, I already planned his death."
Yeah, I know. I noticed.
Right.
Well, I didn't say he died.
Oh, he ain't gonna want to live. I'm certain.
I mean,
he's just surrounded by 1,000 evil beings, and he had no HP. Okay.
Listen, that monstrosity said no survivors in his gargled voice.
I mean, he did. That's true.
Yeah,
he did. That's true.
I know them damn samurai didn't make it.
Didn't even have a name until we asked.
Right, so I know he didn't make it.
Right, irrelevant as hell.
He's like the yellow coats of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns, everyone. If you enjoyed our shenanigans, we ask that you please leave us ratings and reviews on Apple iTunes or any other podcast platform that you use. Also, please be sure to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon for exclusive content that you won't want to miss. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
Yo, I'm Bri. I play Stella. And you can follow me on Twitter at Blaze_Nancy Bride King or NBK.
I am Robert Jones, and I played Houta Liu-bei. You can find me on YouTube, Trubone, Trubone.
I'm Felicia, and I play Yome. You can find me on Insta or Twitter at daggertribal.
I'm Rodimus, playing Roroi Royce. You can find me on Twitter at Rodimus7901 or at Instagram at Rodimus83.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Those are all of our players and our cast members for Taverns and Caverns Season 2. Until next time, take care.